Welcome to a special episode of a Grace Church podcast. Today we're talking about theater with Amy Christie. She's been at Grace for almost 30 years. She studied musical theater at Ball State, and now she's a pastor who preaches on the weekends. I'm Christina Pantaleo, one of her assistant directors for The Wizard of Oz. I'm someone who has been in multiple Grace productions over the years, and this ministry has really shaped me. So let's follow the yellow brick road to our conversation with Amy. So I want to start at the beginning. 20 plus years ago.
A very good place to start, to quote a musical that we've done twice, The Sound of Music. The beginning.
Gosh. And I did watch that movie. I put it on going to bed the other night.
You did?
Yeah.
That's fun.
I love sleeping to musicals.
Yeah.
Or anything with a good soundtrack.
It's a very soothing musical, too. The music is very soothing.
I love
in
Julie
that show.
Andrews. Her voice is just so comforting to me.
It is.
So, yeah.
2001 and 2011. Yeah. We did them 10 years apart.
We sure did.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So it was actually close to 30 years ago.
Yes.
You came to Grace Church from Ball State with a musical theater degree.
Mm-hmm. I sure did.
How did that happen? How did you end up working at a church with a musical theater degree?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Faith Church, which is the church that Grace was kind of birthed from. Dave Rodriguez was my, our founding pastor, was my youth pastor at Faith Church. So I came to Grace from the very beginning when it first started. I was still in college. And actually, when I graduated, I did work for a year. I did my student teaching, and then I worked for a year. I taught theater and speech at North Central High School, actually, before I ever came to Grace. And then I wanted to do shows, so I started working at local theaters. I did a lot of work at Beef and Boards and down at the Athenaeum. And I was already serving on the design team at Grace, which was kind of a team where creatives got together and designed the weekend services because we used a lot of creative elements in our weekend services. We still do, but back at that point, we were really, it's kind of coming out of that early 90s, Willow Creek, the big church in Chicago that used drama and all sorts of stuff. So we were kind of in that vibe, what we were doing. So I worked with a lot of creatives on that team, and they needed to hire, we hardly had any staff at Grace at that point. It was Dave Rod and maybe 4 other people. And they needed someone to kind of manage the weekend services and make sure that they were. And so they were going to hire 2 women at quarter time. One was a drama person and one was a music person. Both of them were young moms. And so I was writing a script one day with my friend Ann Croker, who was one of the women they were going to hire. She was the drama side of things. And she said, we can't do this. We're just me and the other gal, which was actually Deb Bergman, our very own Deb Bergman, who still is at Grace.
Yeah.
They were going to hire Ann and Deb to do this quarter time, each of them quarter time that made up a halftime role. And Ann was like, neither one of us has capacity right now. We're raising our kids. You should do it.
Wow.
And I was like, she said they should just hire you part-time. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that would be great because I could still do my shows and work, then I have a steady income.
Win-win.
And it was like a win-win. So then she went back to Dave Rod and said, I think Amy should do it. And so I was sitting on Dave Rodriguez's couch at his house after design team one night. And he said, do you want to come work part-time and kind of manage the weekend creative elements and music and all that stuff? And he said, you can think about it and pray about it. And I was like, I'm good. I'll take it. And that's how I was hired. There was no HR. There was nothing happening. I didn't have any orientation.
Yep.
I think they probably gave me a computer and off I went. And and that's been a 30-year journey to where I am now. And I've had lots of different roles. And I was part-time for the first probably 22, 23 years.
Okay. I
was part-time. I did not move to 3/4 time until 2014.
Okay.
And not full-time until maybe 2017 or 18. Okay. So yeah, it was ideal for me. I raised my kids and did all the creative stuff. It was really fun.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what was the first show you directed here?
The first show that we actually did was a show I wrote, and it was called Simple Gifts. And it was kind of the culmination. We had started a drama series the Christmas before with this young couple called Hugh and Connie. There are a few Grace people that have been around long enough that would remember. Jeff Unruh played my husband, Hugh, and I was Connie. And the next Christmas, I think it was Christmas of 98, we did a 1 hour kind of culmination of this couple's journey. We'd revisited them throughout the year,
Mm-hmm.
and then I wrote a show based on the Gifts of the Magi that there's that play. Wait, is that what it's called? Now I can't remember. Anyway, it was where the woman cut off her hair to buy her husband a watch, something for his pocket watch, and he sold his watch to buy her a locket or a beautiful barrette or something for her hair. So they gave up something for each other. Anyway, I wrote a show based on that about this couple, Hugh and Connie. And it was super fun, and it was the first show that we did. Yeah,
That's
it was really crazy.
amazing.
But the first full-scale musical that we did was Wonderful Life, the musical, and that was 2001. No, 2000. Was it 2000? Yes, yes, it was 2000.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how did it come about that you were able to put on a show that you wrote? Like, what was your pitch for that? Was it just because we had already been
We were
visiting a story?
We'd revisited their story throughout the year. Drama was a huge part of the weekend services at that time. We used drama probably at least once a month, maybe twice a month. Dave Rodriguez, who was our founding pastor, again, he was a creative. He was a music pastor, so he loved the arts and loved doing things artistic. And I wish Jeff Unruh were here because he remembers everything. I think we were just like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we did like an event in December, like something in December. Everybody wants to go see a show in December. So we could probably have a lot of visitors, come see the show. And that's what ended. I think it was a dessert theater. So people were sitting around tables. It was as much about the community being built in the audience as it was about the show that we were producing.
Yeah.
So, so it wasn't a hard pitch. They were kind of like, yeah, let's do it.
Sure. It kind of made sense based on Grace's DNA.
Yeah, it did at that time for sure. And we were so young. Like we were not even 10 years old at that point. So we were all just kind of trying to figure out who we were and what we were doing. And the arts had kind of started to play a pretty big role in who we were. And it kind of felt like the next natural step to do something a little bit bigger outside of the weekend.
Yeah. Did you ever imagine it would become what it has become?
No, I just kept saying yes to the next step. Wonderful Life, the musical, was when we did that in 2000. That was huge because it was a full-blown musical, and we had all said and done with crew and all of that. It was probably around 70 people in that, and we didn't have weekend services that weekend.
Oh, wow.
We had a full weekend of shows, and we canceled weekend services.
Wow.
So
have we done that since?
No, we never did it again. Enough people were like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
That we just decided we can't do that again. But that was, so coming out of Ball State, I was a musical theater major. I also got a degree in speech and theater education. But I was trying to figure out, my student teaching was done. I didn't yet have the interim job that I took at North Central. And my love of theater and doing shows was pretty intense. Like I love being in a cast. I love working toward a goal with a group of people that are working toward the same goal. And yet, having done a little bit of artistic stuff at church, a little bit when I was a teenager, but more so coming to Grace, moving to Grace, I was like, the bond that's created just with a random group of people working on a show, if you mixed the Holy Spirit into that, something magical is going to happen. Something transcendent is going to happen. And so I started researching a lot of like Christian theater groups and thinking that I might start some kind of Christian theater. I quickly came to realize I didn't want to do Christian art. I wanted a bunch of Christian artists doing really good art.
There's a difference.
There is a huge difference. I don't want art that answers questions and that tries to tie everything up in a bow. Good art raises questions. Yeah. Good art makes you think. Shows expose you to you while you're watching it. It's more palatable through art to see hard things and hear hard things and see yourself in different ways. And so I didn't want theater that was going to answer a lot of questions and make people feel like, oh, everything's going to work out, because it doesn't always work out. I wanted theater that was just really good. But I wanted to mix kind of the Holy Spirit in the midst of that. So I kind of was like, Lord, I really feel like you've given me a vision for this, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to start it. So fast forward to 2000, almost 10 years later, and I stood in that circle. I'll never forget, because we always circle up before a show and pray with each other. And I stood in that circle and I thought, oh, I guess this is how we're doing it. I guess this is how you decided to take my vision and bring it to life. And I didn't see it coming until that moment. But I just realized, oh, I just kept saying yes to him along the way. Yes to the part-time job. Yes to the, oh, I need to do more drama. Yes to, let's do a 1-hour show. Yes to, I think it's time to do a musical. He just kept kind of giving me things or putting people in my path saying, would you do this? And I kept saying yes, and then there it was. And so I didn't know at the time that he would continue to grow it, but I knew that there was something happening in that moment that was bringing that vision that I'd had at 23 years old to life. So to answer your question about did I ever dream that it would become what it is today, yes, I did dream that with that initial kind of vision that God gave me at 23, but it is definitely morphed. That first show that we did, I would say, were mainly Grace people. It was people that went to Grace, that loved Jesus, that my vision always was, I had so many friends in the theater world that wanted nothing to do with the church. They were kind of down with Jesus, but they didn't want to be around church people. So my vision always was, I'm never getting them to a church service. It's just never going to happen. I can't invite them to church, and they're going to be like, yes, I'd love to come to your church. So the vision for doing the shows was they would come to a show with me. If I asked my friend to come guest musical direct something I was directing, he'd do it. And then they would catch a glimpse of what the church can be, what Christians can be like, instead of what they've experienced through church hurt or being hurt by people who claim Jesus and say awful things to them. And so what started out as just being our church people in those first few shows has changed dramatically in the last 25 years. Now there are people from all over the community that come and audition for our shows. People that are churched, people that are unchurched, people that have a faith, people that don't have a faith. And they're all together, all generations. And that's something I'm very, very intentional about, making sure that we have all the generations covered from like 12 all the way up to 70. All working together in one place on one goal, bonding in ways that you only bond when you do a show together. And it's changing people's lives. And people that wouldn't come to church are coming to do shows here. And they're around people that have a faith, and that has changed a lot in the last 25 years.
And it's not just the cast, it's like crew as well. Like
orchestra, all
crew,
of it.
Orchestra, and it's like even the pre-production stuff of building the set. That's a whole different group of people than who are necessarily there.
Costumes,
week of the show. Like there are so many people who come together to pull off these productions.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. Okay, so we've talked about how this has grown into something you did not see coming, really. So tell me more about that.
Well, I certainly didn't do it alone. And I couldn't do it alone. And I wouldn't want to do it alone. Part of the joy for me is the group of people, the artistic team that I get to do it with. And that has definitely changed over the years as people have come and gone or moved on to other things. But one of the greatest things that happened was when Lori Seiler came into the picture, and she and I have done shows since 2011 together. We have worked on every show together. Your father, Dave Fackler, started in Les Mis in 2014, co-conducting, and now conducts every show. So it's not lost on me that this is not a lone job. I am working with unbelievably talented and creative people that could be doing this professionally. They'd be lucky to have them, and I get them. And so I am well aware that this has been built on the backs of a lot of different people, not just me. And I cherish that, treasure that, and I am kind of been of the the mindset that kind of along the lines of the creators of Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda will always say, the best idea in the room wins. And I have really adopted that approach. Like I know that I don't know everything. I know that I'm not good at everything. So I'm going to surround myself with people that are really good at the things I'm not good at. And that has worked out to everybody's benefit because they get the best of everything. And I don't care if the idea comes in the director's notebook from a 12-year-old or if it's, my idea. If it's a good idea and it works well for the show and it elevates it, then I'm going to use it. So I'm incredibly grateful to work with the people that I get to work with and, rub shoulders with them on a daily basis while we're doing this. It's a true joy, and I'm very grateful.
Well, and I think it speaks to how much we like working with you is because you're not just, well, it's my word and this is how it's going to go. I mean, sometimes you have to pull that card as director, but you don't do it very much.
Right.
It's usually you trust the people who you have put in their positions, you trust to do their job.
I do. Absolutely.
100%. And so that just gives them the creative freedom to go wherever they're going to go with it. So,
and I've always felt like expect a lot of people and they'll usually rise to that challenge.
Yeah.
Like no matter who it is, like set the bar high. Yeah. People want to do good work. Like I'm not going to dumb it down for anybody, and neither will Lori, and neither will Dave, and neither will Danny or Ryan, or like we're going to set the bar high and people are going to reach it. And that's one of the reasons I don't draw out long rehearsal process, because they can get a lot done in a short amount of time if you make them believe they can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will do it. So I'm fortunate to work with an incredible group of people.
Yeah.
And I think it's special, but I'm in it all the time. Yes. And it's been a long time since I've been out and done a show elsewhere. Which I do miss sometimes, but other people tell me it's special.
I do hear that too.
Other people come back and they're like, there's nothing like doing a show here. I have, some of our kids that have gone off and done shows and say to me, I will always come back and do a Grace show when I can, because there's something unique about what we do. Yeah. And some of them don't know it. Some of them do. I know it. It's the Holy Spirit. Like there is the movement of the Holy Spirit is happening in rehearsals. It's happening in painting. It's happening it's happening all the time. It's all over the place. And it happens when the audience comes in and sees the show. And that's why our shows have moments of transcendence, because there's more at work than just us. And it's beautiful. And it's exactly what I think God wanted it to be. And it's exactly the vision that he gave me, more than 30 years ago.
More than 30 years ago.
Like, yeah.
Do you have a specific moment or memory of when you realized the impact that this has on individuals?
I mean, yes. I think we're going to talk to John and Sophie at some point, but John Osgood, when he did Beauty and the Beast, that was the first show he'd ever done in his life. He didn't want to come to the callback audition. He was scared to death, and he actually left before he auditioned, and then came back the next day because I gave him a second chance. He emailed me right away and was like, will you please give me another chance? And so he came in and auditioned and it was a chance. We were taking a chance. Yeah. I mean, he was young and green. He was
in high school, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was in high school, which actually that is the age of the beast, but it's always played by somebody older. So we took a chance on him, and it changed the trajectory of his life. He went on to major in musical theater. And so that moment was like a moment of like, people are finding their calling doing these shows. I think probably the community that was built with Little Mermaid, a whole slew of young women found their people during that show, and it's a community that's going on since that show in 2022. That was kind of a marker moment. I mean, all of the casts there have been pockets of community that have continued to grow and build. Yeah. I remember Amy Snow played Maria in our second iteration of Sound of Music, and she bonded with those Von Trapp kids. She met with them for months after the show, once a month. And that
she didn't have to do that.
No, she didn't.
No one asked her to do that.
But she knew the vision for why we were doing what we were doing and investing in these next generations. And my daughter was the recipient of that. She was one of the Von Trapp kids, and it impacted those kids for years to come. So all of that. And then the drama team that we had at Grace for probably 20 some years, that was birthed out of Wonderful Life, our very first show, because they looked at me and they were like, we can't stop being with each other. Like, this is not okay. Like, we want to be together. And so we started a drama team that for 20 years met every single Wednesday of the year.
So what did those meetings look like?
It was
doing improv games?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes lots of improv games, lots of food. They always tried to one-up each other with the food, and lots of community. Just lots of, like, we would pray together. We would sometimes do a devotional. We would share about our lives. It was just a really deep community. So much so that we had a guest director come in for a show we did in, I think, 2003. And she said she did this activity with the cast. Tell each other something they probably already know about you and something that they don't know about you. And she thought it was going to be like this really fun. And our group knew each other so well that when they got to the what don't you know about each other, it went so deep. I mean, like, people were crying. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is like we were doing a comedy. And she was like, this is not what I was going for. And I was like, you asked the wrong group of people. So it became a very tight group of people that some of those relationships are still going on to this day. And they're the kind of people that when I run into them, because some of them I don't see often, there is an immediate connection. Like, we know each other. We went deep with each other for years. We love each other deeply. There was but that all came out of doing a show. They were like, we can't not be together. We have to be together.
Yeah. So let's talk about Beauty and the Beast a little bit more, because that show happened in 2016, and that's where our Dorothy and Scarecrow met.
Yes, they sure did.
Our current Dorothy and Scarecrow.
Yes.
So he was the Beast. She was a village girl.
She was a silly girl.
Silly girl.
Yes.
Yep. And that's where they met, but they didn't start dating right away.
No, they didn't. They had actually grown up at Grace, so their families knew each other. They knew of each other. I think they both had done Les Mis 2 years before that. But that was such a big show. I mean, we had the most people in that show, over 100 in the cast. So they were kind of ships passing in the night. Sure. You know, there were lots of guys in that show that all hung out together. So Beauty and the Beast is where they really got to know each other. And there were several teenagers in that show that really formed a group. So the girl playing Belle, Betsy Sandifer, not Sandifer anymore, it's Betsy Mickle now. Kana Smith, now Kana Haskins. They were, and Ann John and some various others. Like, they all became this group of friends. Like, they were all really tight group of friends. And I think maybe even John went to prom with a different one of them. But they were all friends. It wasn't like anyone was dating. And then that just slowly morphed into a relationship between John and Sophie that grew into love and marriage.
So what has that been like now for you, seeing them post-college, where both of them
were musical theater majors. Yes. She went to Millikan and he went to Ball State.
Yeah. And so now they're both cast as leads. What has that been like for you to see how much they've grown over the years, and now with their extra training, and like, they were already so good? And
they were. I think the remarkable one is John, because he was a baby. I mean, when he started at Grace, he knew nothing. And so to watch his transformation, even at the time that he was at Grace, because he still had a couple of years after Beauty and the Beast that he was in high school. He joined show choir, like, did all that kind of stuff. But his training, clearly, I mean, he's writing music. He's, you know, he's got a lot of really great skills that he brings to the table as an artist. And I mean, he's just remarkably good. Sophie was way more into the arts when, I mean, she was doing show choir and all those things when she was even in high school and middle school even. But when I heard her sing as Dorothy, because it's been a long time since I've heard Sophie sing solo, when she auditioned with that with Over the Rainbow, it was like, oh wow, like that her voice has just grown leaps and bounds as she's, you know, with all that training. And so yeah, I mean, it's just a joy to watch somebody take something that they're pretty good at and just hone their craft and like work hard and just become, because you're like, when you're an artist, you're a lifelong learner. You're never done.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like being a Christ follower. You're never done. There's always more to learn.
Something else to learn.
Yeah. And there's always ways to be better. And sometimes it's just life experience that makes you better. Like, I know more now, so I'm better. I can tap into more things. And I think that's even part of who they are now. They're a married couple. Like there's things in their lives that they can bring to the table now that they couldn't when they were 16 years old. You know, life gives you good and bad and ugly and beautiful. It gives you things that make you a better performer.
Yeah, I love that. Have other people from Grace Church Theater gone on to work professionally or gone on to study theater?
Yeah. Our Belle, Betsy Mickles, she went to Ball State for musical theater. Brayton Wilds, he went to Ball State for musical theater. Betsy's living in Chicago and doing a little bit of theater here. She was in New York for a year. John and Sophie were actually in New York. He wrote a show. We did a little cabaret show there, and Sophie was in it. And you know, it's a tough business, that theater business, to make money.
Yeah.
But they were in New York for a bit. Brayton has worked down at Disney. I'm not sure where he is currently, but definitely doing stuff in the arts. Anya Burke, who was our Little Mermaid, Ariel, and did every show at Grace up until that point. She has been on a cruise ship playing Sandy in Greece for a year, and now she's up in Wisconsin doing a couple of shows up there, a Christmas show and a Halloween show. And you know, I think a lot of them have hopes of doing. And then Jack Ducat, who was in Les Mis, he was our Gavroche, and then also did Beauty and the Beast. I don't think he did Mary Poppins. But he just was cast as Buddy the Elf in the national tour of Elf.
Wow.
That's
huge.
Huge. He just came out of Carnegie Mellon, which is one of the best theater schools in the country. And now he's already landed a national tour right out of school. So that's huge. That's huge.
Wow.
Yeah. And just the thing about these, and this is what I said to my friend, from high school and college, runs the theater department up at Ball State. And, you know, I'm like, I've given you quite a few really, really great people. And what he would say to me about Betsy and John and Brayton, who have all been at Ball State, they are wonderful people. And I would say that about Jack. I would say that about Anya. I would say that about Sophie. I would say that about so many of these kids that have grown up. I mean, all of our casts are, but these kids that have grown up doing this, they're incredible human beings. And that takes you really far in this business. You don't want to work with jerks.
Nope.
You want to work with good humans. And I think they're just really quality, wonderful people.
Yeah.
And they're incredible performers on top of it. So that's, not only are they going far because they're good, they're going far because they're just quality human beings.
Yeah. Yeah. So after 20 years of proof, marriages, people going into theater, lives changed. When someone asks you, why does Grace Church do theater? What do you say? What's your elevator pitch?
Oh, my elevator pitch. I don't know if I've ever had to give an elevator pitch.
Church and theater, how do you connect those two in people's minds?
Yeah, I don't think they are connected. And I think that's part of the beauty of it. People will come see a show that might not darken the doors of a church ever, but they want to see a good show. And so quality is really important to me. I'm not going to put out something that isn't good quality because that's not joy that I'm offering to people. That's slop.
Cringe.
Yeah. I don't want that.
We don't want you to sit in the audience and
come,
cringe.
And we've had this a lot. I want them to come expecting mediocre, and I want them to walk out in awe.
I remember hearing that specifically with Les Mis, that people would come being what?
A couple drove. Yeah. They drove from Ohio because they were
audacity.
Yes, they were like, I cannot wait to see them butcher this show.
And honestly, I don't blame them.
Yeah. And then they came back the second weekend because they had to see it again because it was so good.
Yep.
So it isn't tied necessarily. And that's part of
Yeah.
the beauty of it. We're not trying to lure you in. It's not a bait and switch. We're not going to get you in the doors and baptize you.
No.
We want you to have the opportunity to see a beautiful show and maybe learn a little bit more about who we are. Maybe be comfortable in a church setting for the first time in a long time, or for the first time ever. So that's, and for, we say live life to the fullest at Grace. It's one of our values. Well, what's more living life to the fullest than getting to see a really great show with the people you love, and walking out singing the songs and clapping your hands, and yeah, the world needs joy and hope, and I feel like shows can do that, and that's why we're very intentional about what we pick, why we do the shows we do, because we want kids to be able to come with their parents and grandparents and cousins and friends and all experience the same thing. For the artists themselves, it's this beautiful community that they get to be a part of. And again, it's people that go to Grace. It's people that don't go to Grace. It's people that are, 10 years old. It's people that are 60 years old. It's people that have a faith. It's people that don't. And they're all bonded because of this one piece of art that they get to do for this time and for this place. And I have not had anyone walk away and say that wasn't one of the best experiences I've ever had. And that's why we have so many return customers.
Yeah.
That's why we have so many people. I also am able to give families a chance to do a show together.
Yeah.
How often do 5 members of a family, a dad and his kids, or a husband and wife, or get to do shows together?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often.
That's pretty rare.
And we are able to provide that because our casts are as big as they are, because we have a mentality of wanting intergenerational community, because, so all of it works in tandem to just create, it just creates beauty. It just creates beauty for the people doing it and for the people seeing it.
Yep.
And I think the Lord loves that.
Yeah. And there's a reason we keep ticket prices very low.
Yes. Everyone should be able to see live theater.
We could be charging so much more money for these
really
tickets.
We could.
Especially with the quality that we are putting out.
Yep.
The ticket price does not reflect that.
Nope.
I will say that
Not
right
at
now.
all. But I want everyone to have the opportunity to see a good show.
So we're hoping we can keep those ticket prices the same.
We're very grateful to our sponsors, because that's what makes that happen.
It sure is. So if you're interested in being a sponsor, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. I would love it.
That's
so crazy. I love sponsors. We love you.
Okay, so let's talk about this show, The Wizard of Oz. Why did we pick this one?
Well, I never know how we're going to know. Every show is different, and it's sometimes, when I said Les Mis, everyone was like, come on, you're insane. And I was like, yeah, I might be, but I just feel like we're supposed to do it.
And you were right.
I was right. It was so good. I don't know how we did it. I always look back and I'm like, how did we make that happen?
Holy Spirit.
One year I had a dream about the show we were supposed to do the day before we had to pick it. So it's always kind of different how it's revealed. This time we had a whole other show that we were doing. Hence, part of the reason that we picked Thanksgiving weekend as one of our show weekends, because it was going to be a Christmas show. And we couldn't get the rights. And I was like, what is going, we've never been turned down before.
First time that's happened.
Yeah, first time ever in 20 some years. And I'm like, what? They're like, another theater's doing it. And I was like, well, I know it's not on tour. So I called my friend at Civic Theater, and he was like, yep, we're doing it. I'm like, oh,
rude.
Brent. Yeah, rude. But they wanted to do a different show. So they were waiting for the rights to that show. And if they got that show, they were giving up the rights to Christmas Story, so we could have done it. So I was kind of waiting. This decision needed to be made, and I was waiting for to find out, are they going to release the rights? And then we probably were next in line to get them. Finally, I'm like, do you know what you're doing? Like, I text him, I'm like, I got to know. And he was like, yeah, we're not getting the rights. We're doing A Christmas Story. So I'm like, well, that's out. So I met at McAllister's, my favorite place.
The go-to spot.
My go-to spot with the artistic team. And I had a whole other idea going in. I was like, I think we need to switch the show times. I want to do it in the spring. I think we should do it leading up to Easter. I think maybe we should do Godspell. I was like, I think we're in Matthew. We haven't done it for 15 years or whatever, because we did do it in 2011. I guess that's not 15, 13 years, whatever. Oh, it will be 15 years. Next year's 2026.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
don't
crazy.
even. It's so stupid. I'm so old. So I said, I think that's what we're supposed to do. And they were all like to a T. They were all like, no.
No one was a fan of.
No one was a fan. Like, I was like all excited. I'm pitching my idea. And they're like, yeah, that doesn't work. No, we don't want to do that. And then the Allison Cook, who does all of our tickets, is like, well, I'll be on spring break for one of the weeks. And I was like, yeah, we're not doing it then, because I can't even fathom all the ticketing and all that stuff. So we're sitting there. I mean, we're just kind of sitting there outside on the patio, kind of racking our brains. And I think it was Lori Seiler, our choreographer, that said, what if we do the Wizard of Oz? And then someone was like, well, yeah, maybe it was me that said, well, that would be actually awesome at the time of year that we've got slotted, because the second part of Wicked comes out. And why not be like, capitalize on that? Like, go see Wicked Part 2 and then see the original show that Wicked is based off of. And it took off from there. Yeah. And that was, I mean, around the table, when everybody's like, yeah, I can see that, then like you've hit gold.
It all clicked and you're into place.
Yep. Yeah. So it was, it was just one of those moments that you're like, somebody just says something out loud and you're like, oh, that's exactly what we're supposed to do. All clicked. Yeah, it did.
Can you talk for a second, for anyone who doesn't know, about show rights and why can't we do a show that Civic is doing in the same season?
Yeah, they just every show belongs to a licensing company. You can't just do a show. You have to pay to do a show. You know, that's how they make their, when 42nd Street hasn't been on Broadway for 50 years, they're going to make money when community theaters and high schools and whatever do their show. So you pay rights based on how many shows you're doing, how much you're charging for tickets, all that kind of stuff. But you pay per show. And there's a no compete like policy. So if you're within so many miles, and it depends on the licensing company, some of them are more strict than others. If you're within so many miles of another theater that's going to do that show, you just can't do it. They won't give you the rights. So we have done the same show in the same year as Civic before. We've even done the same show as Beef and Boards before, but it's a different season. So like we did Beauty and the Beast in the fall of 2016. They did it in the spring of 2017. So it wasn't competition. When you're doing a Christmas show, everyone's going to do it in December.
It's kind of only one time a year you can do that.
There's the competition is stiff. So yeah, that's what happens.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So what has this production been like compared to others that you've done?
Well, we just did Joseph last year, and Joseph is all sung. Andrew Lloyd Webber, he just likes to sing his shows.
So much singing.
So the pressure on like our music director and our choreographer is much, much more intense. Yeah. So I'm kind of skating through those shows. I'm like, throwing in a little bit here and there.
I was in the cast last year, and you kept saying, this is a Lori Seiler production.
Yeah, it totally was. Yeah. I mean, they all kind of are. I just pretend.
Lori Seiler's the choreographer.
Yeah, I just pretend I'm in charge. Yeah. I'm not.
No, you are. You're in charge.
So this one is a lot more, there's a lot more acting. There's a lot more scenes that I'm in charge of but I love that. Yeah. Like directing is not my first love. I've told everybody this. I want to be on stage. I want to be in the cast. I love it. I miss it so much. But this is the role I play. My job is to give other people the opportunity to do what they love to do, and that's fine. And I've grown to love directing. Yeah. I do love certain aspects of it a lot. Overseeing the whole thing can be daunting, and figuring out logistics, and that's not my forte, but I have to do it. Yeah. But working a scene, giving people direction, I do love that. Like, I love to see when a light bulb goes on in an actor's brain, and they're like, oh, now I get it. This is what they're going for. This is why I'm doing this. I love that. So I've enjoyed, but it's much, much more. I'm taking on a lot more in this show. And technically, this show is a beast to pull off. One, because our auditorium is ginormous. I mean, everybody's like, why do you put so many people in the shows? I'm like, if we had 20 people on that stage as a chorus, they would be swallowed up by our stage. I'd actually love to do something in another location, because it offers a lot more, variety of shows that we could pick from. But everything in there is big. Everything is big. The scale is just huge. So you've got to build a big set. You've got to have levels so you can see all the people. You've got to have a tornado. You've got to have water. You have to have fire. You've got a live dog. You've got
flying.
Flying.
People and objects.
Yes, everything's flying. It is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot from a costuming perspective. I think our costumers are having to find 200 costumes.
Oh my gosh.
When all is said and done.
Yeah.
There's monkeys. There's Winkies. There's a lion and a Tin Man and a scarecrow. I mean, it's just everyone that is coming to see this show wants to see the movie.
Yes.
On stage.
Yeah, which is Technicolor, larger than life.
It is larger than life. It is Munchkin Land and Emerald City and color everywhere, and yet kind of black and white to begin with. Like, it's just, it's a beast.
So much to pull off.
It is a beast to pull off in that realm. So I feel overwhelmed, not only just pulling it together, but the work that's being put in, not only by the actors, but by the set construction, by the painting, our good friend Ryan Mickens, our production director, has been taping bricks for a week straight. And like, it's all measured. And like, it's a daunting, I mean, he had knee pads on yesterday from being on his knees.
Goodness.
So there is so much behind the scenes work that I know other people are putting in, that I just want to make sure that they're finding joy while they're doing it, and that they feel, the gratitude, like that they understand how much they mean to us. It's easy when you're on stage and you're getting applause. Yeah. And people are like, you were great. Yeah. It's different when you've been building a set for 6 weeks and people are like, oh, I don't even know who you
were involved.
You
who
were
knew?
Involved. I saw your bio. What did you do?
Yeah.
So, all the people behind the scenes that are working tirelessly to make sure that we have a really cool set and can be seen and heard and look lovely.
Yeah.
So,
do you have any surprises about the show you want to share? Any spoilers?
No, they're going to have to come see it.
You're just going to have to come see it.
Yeah, I don't give anything away.
Okay.
I'm not giving anything away.
Tell me about...
I'm only charging you like $18 or $20, so I'm sorry. I can't give you spoilers at that price.
Tell me about the cast. What's the vibe? Every year's different, so what's this year?
Different. This year, I think they are getting to know each other. There's some newer people to the cast, which I'm always super excited about, so it's fun to watch them kind of learn
the ropes.
Learn the ropes, and but they're all great, and some of them I'm just like, oh, they're so good. It's been so fun to meet some of these new people that just out of the woodwork have shown up to auditions, and auditions are always the worst because we have to cut people, and we cut like 40 this time, and that was really hard. Especially when it comes to the kids, because the kids are sad and their parents are sad, so that's overwhelming. But but the cast that we do have is a really strong cast. They're picking up on things, I think, really quickly and really well. And they're starting, you can see that they're starting to get to know each other, and they're building, like, I purposely put them in families. It's kind of they stay in the same family for Munchkin Land and Emerald City. And that helps a lot because it forces a group of people to get to know each other. I'm always fearful that there's going to be one person that just doesn't have anyone that they're connecting to. So if you put them in the families right away and they're intergenerational, we've got kids and teenagers and adults, and then they figure out who is our family and how do we know each other and how are we related and what's our name, and then all of a sudden there's this camaraderie that's being built. So that's built over time. By the end of the show, they're all going to be crying and like, when am I going to see you again? And I love you so much, and I can't believe this is over, and can we do it another weekend? And that's all I care about. I just want them to feel like that by the end, that they have just had the best time. The kids' chorus this time is one of the best I've ever had. And they've always been good. I'm not dissing any of the other kids' chorus. They are just on it. Like, they know their stuff. They are teaching each other. I heard the other day that one of our middle school kids was teaching one of the their moms work together, so they go early with their
Aw.
moms, and she was showing the elementary school kid the moves because she'd missed a lot of rehearsals
I
from
love
being
that.
sick. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's picking up what we're teaching without us even like being, explicitly explaining it. Like she's doing generational work as a middle schooler. It was just the coolest thing. So
That is amazing.
they're a strong cast. They're a fun cast. The kids this time are part of the adult chorus, so it's like one big chorus. It's not separate kids chorus like Joseph was a separate.
Yeah.
They rehearsed.
That was pretty unique.
It was very unique. I like it when the kids are with the adults. They're different. And that's where the intergenerational community is built, and you see it. Like you see the kids are drawn to certain adults that have become their friends, and it's that I like that much better, and you see it in the cast. It's a more well-rounded community than when the kids had to be separate from us. The only time they really got to know the adults was the week of the shows.
Yeah.
And that's just not enough time for me. I want them to
There's a lot going on those weeks.
Yes, there is.
There's a lot going on.
So I think it's been a fun cast.
Yeah. What are you hoping audiences take away from this production?
I hope that they walk away. The big theme that, there's a lot of themes in this show that you could go with, but ours is there is no place like home. There are people in your life that are your home. And if there aren't, I'm praying you can find them. Everybody needs the people that they can just let down their hair and be who they are and know that they're going to love them regardless of what they do or what. And right now, because of the world we live in, and so many families are fractured and not talking to each other or mad at each other, and I just want people to understand the importance of knowing who your people are and having those people in your life and being those people for
To others.
Yeah. Everybody needs community. Everybody needs home. And so I hope people walk out feeling joy, singing the songs, clapping along, and that they are thinking about who can I be home to? Who can I invite into my life that needs home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your hope for the future of Grace Theater?
Well, I won't do it forever. Because I shouldn't. I shouldn't do it forever. Like, and one of the joys of having like you and Curtis, you're my assistant director, Curtis Honeycutt is the other one, is the ideas that you guys come. There's a little bug. With the ideas that you guys come with, the things that you guys just innately do that I wouldn't think to do. There's another generation of a voice that needs to be heard in Grace Theater. I'm 55. I've been doing this for 25 years. I hope that I can continue to build something. I'd like it to be more and bigger. I don't know how to achieve that exactly because I'm not a business person and I don't think like that. But I'd love to do more stuff than one time a year.
Yeah.
Not in the auditorium. I don't want to be in there. I would love to do different things, creative things. And then I want to someday walk away from it and let it, I want it to go on without me. That's what I want more than anything. I do not want this dying when I walk out the door. So who am I shaping to make sure? Who is Lori shaping? Who is Dave Fackler, who does the music direction and conducts? Who's he shaping? I don't want this to die. I don't think anybody wants it to die. And that's the beauty of it. There are people that are like, give me the torch. I'll take it. So it's identifying those people and now working toward, I hope Lori and I can walk in someday and be like, you guys are doing great. See you in a couple of weeks.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would be amazing. Yeah. But I hope the legacy that God has built through me and various others will continue on for years and years and years and years to come, because it's important. It has filled a need that nothing else can. And I think our community, not Grace, but the community at large, would be sad if we went away.
I agree.
So
I agree. Is there anything else you want people to know about why we do this?
No, just that musical theater is the most beautiful thing ever. Who was I saying that to the other day? There's just nothing better than when song and dance and
sometimes
drama.
words are not enough.
No, words, you have to sing them because you
have to
can't
sing
say
them.
it anymore. You can't. There's so much emotion.
There's only so much inflection you can have with spoken
you
word.
have to sing it. There's no choice. When she's singing over the rainbow, it's because she's so distraught, and there's got to be more. There's got to be more. So I just think musical theater is magical, and I think God gave it to us because there's nothing else like it. There's nothing else like it. I love it so much, and I love getting to do it with the people I get to do it with. That would be the only hard thing about going and doing a show somewhere else. I would love to not have the responsibility of being in charge.
Yeah.
Like, I just like to show up
That
with
would
my
be great.
tap shoes and do a show. But it would be hard to not be with my crew of people, my tribe, and that I would miss that a lot.
Yeah.
So it's a great group of people, and if you don't see the show, you're really missing out.
You really are. Okay, well, thank you so much, Amy.
I could talk about I could talk about this for hours.
I mean, is there anything we didn't get to?
I don't think so. I really think we covered most of it.
Yeah. I'm always nervous about overdoing it on time. But
no, I know, me too. I want people to listen to it, so I'm done talking. I've said everything I need to say.
Well, thank you, Amy.
Thanks.
That was really great.
It was fun.